Hi everyone. Today I'm going to talk to you about an exciting new PyReason feature that allows users to integrate machine learning models directly into their reasoning workflows. With this capability, PyReason enables you to leverage machine learning predictions as input into your logical reasoning processes. This allows users to combine the predictive power of machine learning with the interpretability and rule-based reasoning strengths of PyReason. In this video, I'm going to go over a very simple example of a binary classifier and how we can integrate it with PyReason. The way the integration between a machine learning model and PyReason works is that the model receives some input and produces some output like it normally would, but then this output is converted into PyReason facts that update PyReason's knowledge graph based on the model predictions. PyReason essentially gives us a way to encode the output vector from the machine learning model into a logical framework with constants and predicates. So to take a very simple example, consider the classic classifier that predicts whether an image is a dog or a cat. The model outputs a vector of probabilities, which is then encoded into the logic through annotated facts, where the model is a constant and the predicates are the prediction labels. In this video, we're going to go over this process and see how simple it actually is to perform this integration. PyReason is an annotated logic, and you can learn more about PyReason in other videos on this channel. But essentially what that means is that each ground atom has a lower and upper bound. So to be able to convert the machine learning model's output into PyReason facts, the user has a few options. Since we're looking at a classifier example here, given a feature vector of inputs, the model outputs logits for each of the classes, and then these logits can be converted into probability values using something like a softmax function. Now for each class, we need to turn each probability into a set of lower and upper bounds. To do this, the user has four options: a threshold value, whether to set the lower bound, whether to set the upper bound, and a snap value that is optional. And we can see how these options work with this diagram. For each class, a PyReason fact is created depending on its probability value. So if the probability is less than the user-defined threshold, the fact is set to uncertain with bounds of 0 and 1, basically eliminating that class's probability from being used during the reasoning process. If it's greater, however, we have two independent options: whether to set the lower bound and whether to set the upper bound. If setting the lower bound is false, we keep the lower bound to a default value of 0. And similarly, if setting the upper bound is false, we keep it to 1. But if it's true, on the other hand, we set the value of the bound to the snap value that the user defined. And this snap value could be any floating point number between 0 and 1. If the snap value is not defined, the original probability value will be used. Given these user-defined options, PyReason can then convert the model predictions into valid annotated facts. In this example, we're just integrating a simple PyTorch machine learning model into PyReason. The model is just an untrained binary classifier, basically a linear model here, that predicts whether a transaction is fraudulent or not. So you can see that we have a linear model and we have two classes which are fraud and legitimate. For now, we assume that we have 5 input features, and for demonstration purposes, we're just using a random vector to represent these features. This model is just an example, and it can be easily replaced by a more complex trained one. Now we have to define the options that we looked at just before. The classifier returns a probability for the two classes, and since it's a binary classification problem, we're looking at the likelihood that the transaction is fraud versus not fraud. So in this example, we're going to set a threshold of 0.5 so that any probability above this threshold will be added to PyReason as a fact. So for example, if the model predicts a 60% fraudulent transaction and 40% legitimacy, we disregard the legitimate prediction since it's below the threshold and modify the lower bound to be 1 for the fraud fact. The final fact will have a bound of 1, 1 for fraud. Now comes the actual main step of integrating the model with PyReason, and it's extremely simple with PyReason's logic integrated classifier wrapper. All we have to do is pass in the model, the class names, the identifier of the model, which will be converted into a constant in the logic, and the options that we defined earlier. The class names should have the exact same dimensions as the model output vector. The model can then be used exactly as a normal PyTorch model where the input is passed into the model. The only difference is that there are 3 values returned: the logits predicted by the model, the probabilities, and the PyReason facts. These facts can easily be added into PyReason just as any other fact, and the reasoning process can be started. So to perform this reasoning on this example, we create a very simple knowledge base of accounts and their associations with other accounts. The idea is to link a transaction to an account and reason about which accounts need investigation based on whether the transaction was fraudulent or legitimate. So if a fraudulent transaction comes from account A, then this account should be flagged as requiring investigation along with all of the other associated accounts. Now, to just set up some context for the reasoning process, we set a fact for account A being in a suspicious location. And theoretically, this could come from another model or it could be inferred using additional rules. But for now, we're just keeping it simple and making this assumption. The first rule that we add flags an account as requiring investigation if a fraudulent transaction has been detected from it, and if it's in a suspicious location. And the last rule just defines how we propagate this investigation flag through the network of accounts. Finally, we perform reasoning with pr.reason and inspect the explainable trace to see what's happened during reasoning. I'm going to run this example now, and we can see what the output actually looks like. So this is the code that we just saw. And as you can see, we have our linear model here with our classes of fraud and legitimate. We have our integration options with a threshold of 0.5, and we have the PyReason logic integrated classifier here. It's as simple as that. Everything below it is just setting up the reasoning context and the graph to perform reasoning on. And these seed values over here are just so that the results are reproducible. So now to run the code, you can open a terminal and run the reasoning process. And as you can see, the logits are printed, the probabilities are printed, and in this case, the probabilities are 0.2 for fraud and 0.78 for legitimate, which means that the fraud fact will not be taken into account. It will be completely disregarded because it's below the threshold of 0.5. And the legitimate fact, on the other hand, will be taken into account. And as you can see, the lower bound has been snapped to the value of 1, which is what we set the snapped value to be. So we have a fact that is detecting legitimacy on the transaction. And in our rule trace over here below, we can see that the fraud detector predicted a legitimate transaction. And this is just our fact that we defined in the code of account A being in a suspicious location, but nothing else has actually happened here because there has been no fraudulent detection. But now, on the other hand, if I were to change or run this again with a different input tensor, a different feature vector for the model, what we get in this case is a fraud value of 0.68 and a legitimate value of 0.3. So in this case, the legitimate fact is going to be disregarded, as you can see over here in the print statements. The legitimate fact has a value of 0, 0, and 1, whereas the fraud fact has a value of 1, 1. And here in the trace below, we can see that the fraud detector detected fraud and created a fact for a fraudulent transaction. And because account A comes from a suspicious location, account A is then flagged as requiring investigation. And you can see that it comes from the investigation rule that we defined. And since account B is connected to account A and account C is connected to account B, this means that all of these accounts are associated in some way, which means that they all require investigation. And this comes from the propagation rule that we defined below the investigation rule. So it's as simple as that. It's a few lines of code to integrate a binary classifier within PyReason, and reasoning takes into account the predictions of the machine learning model. So that's all for this video. The link to the code example is in the description below, along with some resources for PyReason and the documentation of PyReason. Feel free to check this out, and thank you for watching.